Hey everybody, it's Devin Francis, also known as Dr. Blackard.
Hi, I'm sleepy. Devin woke me up.
Because I was 2 hours late to when we were supposed to record to be ready.
Yeah, so I just took a little nap. I read and then I was just like, oh, I'll take a little cat nap.
It is episode 201 of the Adventures in Odyssey Oddcast. What are we doing today, Victoria?
We're doing a movie,
Yes.
celebration movie, because you know what? We've earned a break. Yeah, we just get to sit back and relax.
Yeah, and rest on the laurels of something that we filmed 2 months ago.
Yeah, and be funny if you guys think we're funny.
Hopefully.
We think we're funny. I think I'm funny.
Yeah.
I want someone to like be all villainy towards me, and then I have a snooty remark and they're like, "You think you're funny?" And then I go, "Yes." And then I don't know what'll happen after that. Probably something bad.
So we're going to be reviewing Go West, Young Man, which is the something's the movie. I don't know, it'll be in the title of this video. We've done a bunch of them at this point. It's like 9th, maybe, I don't know, or 8th.
It's been a while since we've done one, though.
It has been a little bit.
We've been together for a bit.
Yeah. So that's what we're doing today, and we'll get into that right now. All right. So we have Go West, Young Boy. I think this is an imagination station Western thing.
Immigrating to the States.
So,
so Wit's gonna get shot.
You got the drop on me. Who are you? And what do you want?
Is it Eugene?
Dylan. Marshall Dylan.
I was gonna say Dylan got a lot taller.
If Dylan pulled a gun on me, like, it wouldn't happen. I would punt that child. I would drop kick that child.
Because this is America, I'm going to assume that that's a real gun that he just pulled on Wit.
I don't know why we would assume it isn't.
I'd attend her piano recital this afternoon. It'll have to wait until tomorrow.
So while I'm going to listen to the piano, you get in a shootout, young child. That's a responsible adult thing to do.
Dylan vocally sounded very excited for someone who looked completely neutral about this imagination station thing.
I gave my word.
And I'm trying to date Mrs. Harcourt, maybe. I don't know. I forget. Was there some kind of like romantic kind of?
Is that the bird lady?
Yeah.
I think so. Maybe. I remember her birds are named after Napoleon
and Josephine.
And Josephine.
Well, it could be.
I thought it was really funny because.
Oh, look! It's just Will Ryan, straight up.
I can't believe they got special guest Will Ryan. What a grab! I imagine
they just animated what Will just happened to wear to the recording studio
that's what
that
I was gonna say. He presses it, an explosion happens.
Well, I should hope so. I mean, they had this as early as album 7, the remote.
So does Wit know that this
Please
is
disappear.
happening?
Please visibly disappear from Wit's End.
Oh, this...
It's
the Old Town Blazin' song.
Yeah, it's the Western theme that we hear in
Over the airwaves,
It's the one that we hear in the special about the different
Guns,
variations on the theme.
I like this version.
Yeah, we hear it in the special where they talk about the different variations on the theme over the years, and this one has always struck me as very particularly modeled after Back to the Future 3 in the way that it syncopates the theme, more so than general Western music.
I want to watch Back to the Future so bad. I don't get why so many people like the third one the most.
I think this is the first one that was actually written by someone on staff.
It's pretty good.
It was written by some guy and also Paul. Yeah, this isn't the Young Guns Bonanza. I think it's the one in the special that they play that is...
It definitely isn't that.
Okay.
How many people do you think are going to get shot in this?
42.
Okay. What's camp? I like his little skull.
A skull bolo tie,
I
yeah.
want a skull bolo. That looks like something out of, like, Soul Reaper. Like, or Soul Eater. A character in Soul Eater would definitely have it. Okay, one funny joke in this animated series. One actually funny joke.
That is the best joke that they've made so far in the entire thing.
I will give them that. They get, like, 1 star just for that one joke.
I can't wait for someone to get, like, having to get, like, into a shootout with Dylan where he has this... Like I said, I still think it is probably a real gun.
Yeah.
Let's just hope he doesn't actually fire inside the Imagination Station inside of Wits End, which is where they still are, let us remember.
This guy's entire outfit is just...
Is Eugene gonna become the sheriff?
Oh, I hope so.
Is this supposed to be Odyssey?
Do you think Dylan becomes the sheriff and Eugene's like the deputy or something?
Yeah, probably. I would prefer it if Eugene became the sheriff.
Eugene has like a 10-gallon hat.
Wow, that's like a crazy way for it to have gotten tied around the head.
Whoa, his boots! How did that happen? I feel like all the slapstick in the series either happens to Eugene or animals.
Yes.
Okay, that would like just tear apart your entire body. You'd be so injured.
The question is, did this happen before or after the Cross of Cortez? How much real-life experience does Eugene have with bullfighting at this point?
After. Eugene is a little twig man. He's gonna break if someone falls on him.
Wow, I was gonna make a joke about the gun's gonna land and go off and shoot someone.
Hold up the bank, Mayor.
Hey, it's Will Ryan from the
Yeah,
past!
that's what I was gonna say!
It's Will Ryan. It's Eugene's ancestor.
Oh, we got 2 Will Ryans. You know how this is gonna end the special? They're gonna be standing beside each other and Dylan's not gonna know who to shoot because he doesn't know who the real one is.
The real Eugene would never pass up a chance to die.
It was so exciting. What? I've never seen anyone act so bright.
Oh, is she gonna romance Eugene?
All my life.
Oh, she
Yeah.
is.
Oh no, what if she's the one who's supposed to date his great-grandfather here? It's gonna be like Back to the Future, and
It is
Eugene's...
Back to the Future! Do you think she's the original E-girl? Because she's, like, part of the coding in the Imagination Station.
Oh no.
She's,
But-
like, old Western E-girl in love with Eugene.
But that... Eugene is, like... Now that his great-great-grandmother's fallen in love with him, and now she's not, he's gonna
He has
prevent
to make
his own
sure
birth.
they go to the dance.
Yeah.
The Under-the-Sea dance. Which is gonna be hard because they're in the desert and there's no water.
Under the Oasis dance.
Under the Oasis dance. Oh, I was right. I told you they were gonna be sheriff and deputy.
So
He doesn't even know if he lives here.
Oh, that guy's proportions were frightening.
It was only...
She's like got him in a headlock.
I only
in that
heard, like, the
picture.
one line there a little bit. It sounded like that was Phil Lawler, which is funny, because then it's like Dale Jacobs, but in the past.
Isn't his dad, like, played by Phil Lawler, too?
I don't think so. It might be Chuck Bolte, I don't remember.
Correct. So it's all in our imaginations. If something goes wrong, we just hit the red button on the remote control.
Finally, someone with some sense.
It sounds right, but my better instincts tell me there's a flaw.
Eugene's just like, I mean, I don't know enough about the
Dylan-
Imagination Station to argue
Oh
that.
no, that ominous pan-in on Dylan, though, does sound like it's about to go Westworld, and Dylan's like, it's okay, we can kill people. It's
Okay,
their
what
own-"
I think is someone, like, the bad guy's gonna...
It is
The
Westworld!
bad guy's gonna get a hold of the button. And they're
Yeah,
not gonna be able to
that's
leave.
probably it.
Oh no.
Deputy Dylan, maybe you got something to say to these fine people.
Run, run, run. She's gonna eat him.
Sure. We hope that you have.
We're changing this town's name to Westworld now. I'm gonna hunt y'all for sport, because none of y'all are real. You're just robots and programs.
The state bird is now abolished.
Our sister city is the moon.
How many times can I make that? I've made that joke once the past 3 days in a row.
Yeah.
And I don't regret it.
He's obviously seen an overabundance of westerns.
So just remember, good townspeople. No matter
Like you haven't, Will Ryan. Every day in Will Ryan's life is a Western.
Bum bum bum. Wow. The carpets do not match the drapes. I like the little bead that he has through his two chin
His
hairs.
hair is bleached. Leave him alone. And his eyebrows are bleached.
Oh, so no one will recognize him. That's his disguise.
Yeah.
Very Count Olaf. This can't be Count Olaf. This man is blonde.
The things that were popular in the Old West were spurs,
Frosted
horses,
tips.
and frosted tips.
This is a mining town. Every 6 months, we put all our gold on a stagecoach to Chicago.
And now this is all your fault if something goes
Did
wrong.
you say Angus Dalton? He wouldn't happen to be related to Amos's big brother. Of course, we're not a
Dalton?
after seeing the way you captured
You know how first names and last names are interchangeable?
Like Angus Dalton Kern.
Angus Dalton just rode into town, and he's after Sue.
Oh, it's the other Will Ryan!
Yeah.
Maybe we can use that guy as, like, a distraction. Like, he'll think he's Eugene.
Yeah,
and
he'll
then
like
we can
yell out
escape.
from behind a building.
Yeah. No, I just like the idea that people can't physically tell the difference between them either.
Yeah.
Feeling about this.
I love The Mandalorian.
I know. I've been thinking of the Mandalorian. But
No,
I
but
do...
they just said the Star Wars line, too.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't
have
even...
a bad feeling about
Yeah.
to say that in every movie.
Wow, I'm sure this is fine. Is that Connie?
That's Connie's ancient ancestor.
Who lived in... Well, to be fair, the Finnemans were from Odyssey.
Oh, they just...
This guy's just chill as all get out.
He's gonna, like, take off his face, and it'll just be, like, a robot face underneath. Because Westworld. It's gonna be a PSA about secondhand smoke at the end of this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
and there
glad
we
for
go.
you. Do you think they're gonna break it somehow? I think he's definitely either gonna take it
I think
or
he's
break
gonna
it.
take it. I don't think he's gonna break it.
What would happen if they broke it?
They would just have to wait for someone to end the adventure on the outside, or for it to reach its scheduled endpoint, I would assume. They should have some kind of, like...
He bleached his tooth!
You calling me a liar?
They should have some kind of, like, what is it, Orange Monkey Eagle, or whatever, like, code, to, like, safe word that you can just say vocally that turns off the imagination station.
That'd be really funny if a kid was, like, in the most climactic point of their imagination station adventure, and then they accidentally said the code word, and then it just shut off. He's gonna break it. He's gonna break it. I told you, he took it and he broke it.
Yeah.
I don't think he hit it at all. He, like, hit the tips. It
He
didn't actually-
he just hit the edge and sent it spinning.
Yeah. Oh, that's a weird angle. It's like, ugh.
Oh no, I shouldn't have used all 6 of these reasons to shoot the remote. If only it was a better shot, I could have hit it the first time.
I like how there's a flower shop behind them. It makes the scene a lot scarier.
Is the flower shop the saloon?
Yes. They
We
sell,
thought
like,
it was a
rose
saloon.
water.
We thought it was a saloon, but it's actually just a flower shop that has a lot of indoor seating and swinging saloon doors.
Yeah. Well, when was the last time you were in a flower shop?
Bad dream.
Oh, yeah, it has been.
Yeah.
been a while.
That is what they look like. You know what people say? Flower shops look strangely a lot like pubs.
You mean we're stuck here?
I like how even the imagination station, Dylan has to sleep on this manger-like cot.
I like how there's just a picture of trees.
I
behind
like how it's
Eugene.
hanging on the wall like it's hanging on the wall like Michael Jackson.
We might really get hurt by Angus?
There's that distinct possibility.
Okay, that's...
If you die in the imagination station, you do die in real life.
I mean, in the TV show and the books you do.
Yeah. Well, I would also ask, why don't they send their mining revenue to Chicago more than once every 6 months so it isn't such a tantalizing target to rob?
Because trains are expensive.
You promised the people of this town quit.
Yes, well, you're not real.
We've
And
been
I'm
here
a
for, like,
child.
day. I'm literally 10, dude.
Don't shoot until you see the whites of their eyes?
No, a man is only as good.
Dylan's like, I know my gun safety laws.
I understand.
You must understand that he is like 8 years old, so maybe you shouldn't have made him the deputy.
Like, if I can't trust my town to this 8-year-old, then who in this world can I trust?
Angus Dalton, you're the sheriff now. No one else will rob us.
See, if you make the criminal in charge of the law, then the criminal will stop doing crimes because they'll have to arrest themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Double jeopardy.
Yeah.
A promise is a promise, Dylan.
I'm sorry, Eugene.
If we have to die for these pixels, then we have to. I don't care that you're 8.
Or, you know what? I could just...
Whoa! 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 Oh!
He went all Ebenezer Scrooge on it.
Oh,
Plan.
I can't wait for the Olympic episode of the animated series.
I like how he was reminding earlier, like, hey, it's just in our imaginations, right? And yet he can't, you know, he could just start the lucid dreaming kind of thing where he just, like, causes them to have brain aneurysms and die.
Man, I want that bolo tie.
And people would be like, ooh, what's that thing from? Because you so often wear necklaces and decor that are from specific series. You're like, this is a very unique piece.
This is the rarest piece in my collection. It is very priceless and valuable.
Talking about it like the Heart of the Sea and the Rose and Titanic.
No, it's gotten to the point where I wear any jewelry, and then I have people ask me, like, what's that from? And I'm like, it's from the store. It's not from anything. It's from, I liked this at the store, and then I bought it. Dylan! Hi! Dylan!
Wonderful news.
You better tell me.
That horse does not look like
very
they want a
unenthused.
Rooster.
But that's just
Is that a squeegee?
My worries are over. I was able to fix the remote.
How?
Is it gonna get shot again?
We'll be back in-
Is it like Back to the Future? He just used garbage and then it works now?
Sorry, Dylan. I must be half deaf from all that gunfire last night.
Probably.
Half the time, like, the horse has spots on it, and the other half the time it doesn't.
Oh, the horse has thoughts now?
No spots!
They're called Eugene.
See, look! Look!
The horse...
Apple, mango, banana.
They have mangoes in here? They only ship their gold out 6 months, but they're getting fresh fruit imported from another continent?
They have standards. That guy doesn't even have an eye patch on. It's just connected on the one side.
It's just like a wire strap.
Yes, because they had that back then.
Wires?
Yes.
Yes.
Wires didn't exist until the early 2000s, Devin. It was a result of Y2K.
It's just like a very
Everyone knows
tiny
that.
bra that he snipped one side off of, and he just took like the wire and
That's
it
not how
to
bras
go
work.
like that.
Tell me about yourself.
Also, they didn't have bras back then. It would have been corsets.
It's a very tiny corset. It's whalebone that's holding on.
Feels like Christmas morning, eh, boys?
Oh, it is a Christmas special! Yeah!
How timely! It's Christmas Eve today.
I love that guy's design.
Surprise.
The guy with the white hair.
You're under arrest. We caught you trying to steal the gold, and this is what we will get you on.
We have a rope. Are you scared yet?
He's gonna light it, and it's a fuse to like 100 pounds of
That's
TNT.
like a really big barrel on the
I think
gun.
it's just the perspective.
I think the animators don't know how to do perspective. Me, every time I see one of my friends holding string.
This is all I'm gonna need
Dylan, have you lost your mind?
when you consider.
That's the only string we have! Dylan, don't waste it on this!
I like who didn't tell
It's a
Eugene
balloon.
what the plan is. It's a helium balloon, and they freak out and die from a heart attack.
It's milk. It's milk in a tube.
We know how cowboys...
That's right.
All cowboys are allergic to milk. Do you
Okay.
say nitroglycerin?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's not going to be nitroglycerin.
One wrong move.
They probably don't know what nitroglycerin is back then.
Clearly they do,
Place will blow sky
and they would,
high.
because that's how they mined back then.
Oh. I don't know enough about cowboys.
Your guns and put
Remember?
your
Because
hands
that's how they mined the
I know
railway
they had
tunnels
birds.
through BC.
They used birds to mine. They
Of course,
used
the canaries, yeah. Like woodpeckers to peck through the rock.
Yeah. Canaries have the
Rockpeckers.
most powerful beaks of all birds, and they beaked through the mines.
Yeah,
Oh, there she is.
I told ya.
I have to add her to the list of Eugene's love interests. I have to update it, Devin. To the most integral one.
I like that Eugene believes that Dylan was able to find nitroglycerin on his own.
There's a palpable.
I mean, it is a
crunch.
mining town,
Just
so
on
I
the
guess they
side.
would have just nitroglycerin around, so...
You probably have nitroglycerin around somewhere. It wouldn't surprise me.
Well, it is also used as medication for angina.
Why did we make it so precarious? What?
Oh no, it was just water. How could anyone have predicted Dylan's bluff? It was not very much nitroglycerin.
It's gonna be milk. Why would you put it in your mouth? Water
it's
isn't
mud.
white like that. They have their old, like...
They're gross, like,
yeah, unfiltered
cholera
water.
It's only
He just
water,
got, like,
and then he
10
dies from
diseases.
dysentery.
Yeah, he just got like 20 diseases from putting that in his mouth.
It's only water, dies anyways.
Dylan is just like, you'll die over a very slow amount of time if this reaches you.
When do we find out that the mayor's daughter's actually, like, a martial arts master?
Not soon enough.
Well, that was close.
Yep. His horse changed color
I thought
too.
he said
It
haggis.
didn't have white on the nose before in some of the shots. Ah, I love Disney.
This seems like a poorly constructed tunnel. Like, okay, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad.
Where's the goat? Where's the goat that makes it shut down?
The goat has the nitroglycerin.
Oh no!
Will Ryan, spirit of Will Ryan, come to me. Whoops. Good news, I saved the town, and now you'll just starve to death slowly because I lost all of the gold. Okay.
That was a very loud explosion noise. Oh.
Sure.
Dude, it's...
Long
it's like,
live the king.
No, it's like Bernard, like Eugene.
I know, I was
Bernard.
thinking of that. And we know how Eugene gets in these scenarios.
Mm-hmm. Eugene's gonna get killed.
Eugene's gonna have to choose between saving them and saving Dylan, and he's just gonna kick their pickaxe off the ledge.
Ha ha ha.
He's gonna walk into the brand. Why would you leave the brand there?
That brand
The
was...
bull is now angered by,
that-
like, the red seared flesh on his butt that he's...
That brand was just like normal silver. It wasn't even red. It didn't
I
look
know.
hot at all.
How long it had been sitting on the anvil there, like, it would have been pretty cool at this point.
Maybe he just has very weak skin.
To burn through chaps, especially.
His chaps are worn through.
I promise.
His chaps are chapped.
Yeah.
Well, thanks.
I'm gonna
No!
name my great-great-great-grandson after you.
So, like, we definitely agree that that was his ancestor, right?
Yes.
Like, she's gonna hook up with Will Ryan Cowboy.
So, did he have it fixed or not?
Do you think he just liked seeing Dylan in danger and he was just like, haha, I'll just pretend it doesn't work?
Oh no, what can we do?
Oh no,
I didn't
Dylan's
fix it
gonna
right.
get shot. Oh no.
Could you get that? I'm
Oh, it's gonna be the lady.
Is that the front door of Wit's End here?
Apparently.
Here, allow me to help you with that. You're the mail carrier.
He looked like Hitler! Yeah, a
A
little.
little. I mean, it's funny because the obvious solution here is Wit just used the mailman as a reference for modeling
Yeah,
Angus,
exactly.
Angus Sultan.
Do you think, like, could you imagine that? Like, you walk into the business and you're like, why did you make me the bad guy in your program? Did I ever do something to, like, offend you or make you upset? That just makes me really sad. It wasn't awful. There's definitely been way worse than that. It was
There
just
certainly
very
has been.
middling for
Like you
me.
said, they did have the funniest joke that's ever happened in
That
the
is
animated
true.
series.
That is true. I almost forgot about that.
Should we cut to the end here?
Yeah.
Time for a review?
I feel like that was the first joke in the series that was supposed to be funny that we actually laughed at.
Yeah,
Which, congratulations, I guess.
it was good. Yeah, overall, it wasn't bad. I do find it very funny that, I mean, in a way, it kind of does make more sense. Like, in terms of a theme, setting up a theme where we would have, like, Dylan decides to make all these promises, and he's like, I mean, I can back out of them. It doesn't really matter, and then learns the importance of keeping his word. On the one hand, they did create a good situation for, like, Dylan decides, like, oh, I can make these promises, and it doesn't matter because, you know, it's the imagination station, and none of these people are real. But on the other hand, they're like, well, you should keep your word, but also Dylan is right. None of these people are real, and it's not worth me potentially risking my real life getting shot over people that you could just rewind the program to the beginning if, you know, they all die in a horrible fire or something.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I feel like that's partially like why they had to take the ability for them to leave away from them.
Yeah, well, I mean, I understand that.
Yeah, I agree with you that it's nice that Dylan did bring up the fact that they could leave at any time, because not enough people do that. For sure. Well,
I mean, because if this was just normal everyday life and Dylan made a bunch of random, did like a Kurt Stevens, he's like, I'll make all these promises, and then like, I don't need to keep them. It would be more like, Dylan, you idiot, you promised people, do it. And it makes it more reasonable in this situation that he would think like, oh, it doesn't matter because they're not real. Yeah. Even though the reason he thinks that is because he is correct.
You know, it makes me think of like the end of Coded. Where Sora's like going and seeing all the memory illusion people in Castle Oblivion, and Roxas is like, you can be as mean as you want to these people. None of them are real. You're not going to remember being mean to them. They're not going to know you were mean to them because they're not going to remember it either. I played it, and I was just like, I'm going to be as nice as possible to all these people because I would feel so bad if I was mean to them.
Yeah, I do feel like I'm starting to sound a little too Westworld now, where I'm like, they're fake, they're not sentient, it doesn't matter. But
I'm like, in Alberta, I hear like the Roomba get stuck, and I get so sad, and then I run upstairs and I help it.
Yeah, not to be a human apologist in Westworld, but like, yeah, you can, you know, it's not worth risking your real human life over trying to keep your fake promises to the computer programs. I have to say.
I agree with that, but at the same time, like, if you can, then...
Well, yeah, but they didn't think that they could. Dylan got a bullet through his hat like an inch above his head.
Yeah, he did.
Also, the bullet at the beginning, when that gun flung very precariously through the air, landed, went off at an angle, and very well could have killed someone, but instead happened to just, like, shoot the sign and drop it onto Amos's head. It bounced off of a lamp, and is very impressive, whatever kind of glass. I think it might have hit the metal part, but still, the fact that the shock of that did not break the glass of the oil lamp when it got hit by a bullet is pretty impressive.
I just really wanted more of Will Ryan, Cowboy. I wanted to see where that was going.
I really do like how he made all these Back to the Future 3 jokes before it even turned out that there was a person in the past who looked like Will Ryan and also had his voice. And then someone...
he didn't look like Will Ryan. He just had his voice.
I feel like he could have kind of looked like maybe Will Ryan like 50 years ago. He doesn't look like Will Ryan now.
I disagree.
I imagine Will Ryan might have looked like that a long time ago, in his 30s or something. I don't know. Yeah, and then having someone who's like, I'm anachronistically in love with you, Eugene, and it's like, he's gonna erase his own existence. All the Back to the Futures are merging together.
I didn't like that character because she kind of just, like, forced herself on him and also kissed him at the end.
Yes.
But if it did go down and Back to the Future, I would have been so happy.
It would have been very funny, especially because it's the imagination station and they can't change the past, as was very frequently brought up in this episode, which I appreciate, because after the imagination station books, it was nice to have Dylan being like, hey, let's all remember, this is fake, and it's not time travel. And I was
hey, kids... We have some fun here on Adventures in Odyssey, but let's all remember that the Imagination Station adventures at the end of the day are fake, and they won't affect anything in the past. And then all the book writers are just like, I do not see.
Hey kids, I didn't see you there. Turns the couch backwards and sits straddled over it.
I don't really have much to say about that one.
Yeah, it had...
It was serviceable. It was so much better than lots of the other ones. I definitely enjoyed it more than the past.
It was much better than lots of them. It did have an actual theme to it that was, like, actually tied to the plot of the episode. Mm-hmm. Even though...
Remember that moral where it was like, babies are cute? I'm never gonna get over that.
Yeah.
That wasn't good.
It's a fine episode. It was just a funny
It
wrap up.
It's so funny because there was like a clear moral to that episode and they didn't even say it at the end, and it was like a good moral. It was just that one line that was really bad.
Oh, it was funny. So what's I going to say? Yeah, the theme, like I said, it's not perfect in that, like, I think putting in the Imagination Station gave it an interesting angle to the morality of it if they didn't also forget to add in a part that also made there be a reason for them to need to be moral about it, because also it is the Imagination Station. It's like, oh, we put an extra layer of complexity, which is interesting, but then we failed to actually address that complexity in any way, so then we just created a massive hole in it instead.
Yeah.
But yeah, it had a funny joke, and I appreciate that.
It had all these problems, but on the other hand, funny joke.
Funny joke.
Funny joke.
It had a funny joke that was supposed to be funny, and we laughed at it for the reason it was supposed to be funny.
Yes.
Which is big if true.
And we actually, like, audibly laughed for several seconds. So, instead of just going,
well,
oh, that was funny.
Let's not get carried away, but...
I did, at least. I thought it was pretty funny.
It was pretty funny.
Like, if in something else, I don't know, like, if in a live-action Western
I would have
movie,
laughed at that in a thing that wasn't just an animated Adventures in Odyssey episode.
I'd probably give it more leeway, and, like, I probably would have laughed at it in a different thing, but I feel like it could have been, set up a lot worse in something else. Like, if it was carried on, like, dragged out too much,
well, yeah,
it wouldn't have been funny, but, like, their delivery of the joke was very good. I would have laughed at that in something that wasn't this too.
Yeah, something where my bar wasn't even set low.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, Paul McCusker did co-write this one, so I assume he's responsible for the joke, capital J.
The joke, TM.
Yeah.
We'll never forget.
You can laugh at this joke, TM, any time of the day. That's one of those references that I'll, like, make around Alex, and I'll be like, oh, Victoria's not here. No one gets this when Victoria isn't around.
I made, like, a joke like that a couple days ago. Mom was the only person in the room, and I was like, "Aw."
From fan favorite classic episode chain reaction of album 34.
Honestly, I didn't even like Chain Reaction when I was little, and I liked the half episodes.
Pop-Tarts TM. Most iconic line in Adventures in Odyssey ever.
I don't even, like, if you think about it, it's not really even that funny.
It's barely even meant to be a joke in context. It's only a joke to us because of how we use it.
I smiled.
It's
fondly.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this one, like...
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 3.8 out of 5.
I'm gonna give it, like, a solid, like, 4 out of 5. I wasn't upset at any point during this, which is more than I can say for basically any
when
other
they showed us the
specials.
Exterior of the Imagination Station was taking off, I very much thought that we were gonna see it disappear, and I was going to be upset.
It did disappear.
No.
Or it was
the light was flashing, and then everything went black, and then they opened the light.
Yeah.
So they
got knocked out.
Yes.
Yeah.
They cut away from it, but I was worried they were gonna show an empty greenhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they didn't. So
you know the greenhouse effect.
in Whitson, yeah.
That's when the Imagination Station disappears when it's not supposed to.
Or when you pull off a curtain and you have a giant mech that you built that only a child can fit inside.
Yeah.
Getting the robot, Dylan.
Get the robot, Dylan. No, I'm afraid. Dylan, get in the robot. No.
So,
yes, let her pilot it.
Yeah, I think that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to say about it either. That was just fun for a little episode.
It wasn't terrible, yeah.
Yeah. Pleasantly surprised that I wasn't disappointed.
So,
that one didn't hurt for once.
we will swap back over to future Devin and Victoria who are going to wrap this out because we don't know when this episode is going to come out, so we don't know what's going to happen after it or what episode number this is going to be. So we'll cut to that now. So there we go, another movie review in the books, and we'll have another one in probably not too long because, as Victoria mentioned in the last episode, we have another one pre-filmed from December. So what are we doing next time, Victoria?
I'm pulling up the episode titles so you don't make me look like a fool.
How's that going?
The Martyr and the Rooster and the Forever Gift.
Correct.
Which are OAC episodes for don't know which months.
October and November, because that'll only leave us with one episode remaining for the year to wrap everything
we're
up.
Almost caught up. Nice.
We're getting there. So that's what we're talking about next time. Until then, thank you for joining us on our side of the YouTube. I've been Devin Francis, also known as Dr. Blackard.
This was the easiest episode we've ever filmed.
That's not true. We've done ones that were entirely pulled from previous footage. And this has been The Adventures in Odyssey Oddcast.